Let's see. It's about almost 11, but I think I'm gonna draw something. Probably a fan art. Probably Overwatch, since that's what I've been doing lately. Let's see. What would be good? Tough one. All right. Trying to remember what I did for this one. Nope. Oh, this was something else. Let's see. I think last time I worked on D.Va, maybe I could start adding more details on it. Let's see. Don't remember where I put it. D.Va, no, I don't have it here. Let's see. Is it hero? No. Here we go. Found it. Yeah, here we go. That's what I was looking for. Alright. Continue on. I'll probably put a background on this possibly, or just kind of fix it, see what kind of things I could improve on it. See, the arms do look a little off, but I don't know if it's worth fixing. Let's see. Oh, a little blurry there. Alright, much better. I'll update this one. Today is the 18th, so 18th it is. Yep. Need some music, I think.
Like my fanny in my blue suit. Call me anytime, I ain't hard to get. No signal in the sky, just call collect. We'll be there faster than a bullet for whatever you need. Help your granny cross the street, save a kitten in a tree. I spit the hottest verses with the coldest of breath. I use my X-ray vision to see all of the breasts of chicken cooked by women in a kitchen. At a 3-star Michelin, that's a way to make a living. Feminism, mother huggers, I'm woke. Lois Lane's the only broad that I hope on Facebook. Then she invites me to her place to Netflix and chill. I'll probably get to first base. Superman. Stepping out of solitude, head to toe in solid blue. Superman. neither man nor steel. It's a metaphor, you nincompoop. Yeah, the S on my chest symbolizes success. Come on. For more Cal-L, just say heck yes. Coming straight out of Smallville with southern hospitality, winning dinner parties with a charming personality, serving up lemons, square like my jawline, washboard abs, but it's not my full time, naturally ripped. I still try to keep it tight with a healthy diet, shun gluten like it's kryptonite, and exercise, doing laps around this world at speeds you won't believe, yet no stress to my spit curl. And all my nemesis had best watch out. I got a dark side now, you could get knocked out. And if you're out there doing crime, oh, you'll get wrecked, sir. I'll make sure it shows up on your permanent record.
God, you're as soft as that cat up your tree. You're no match for a criminal mind like me, so don't flex on flex or I'll give you the whammy. Your booties, your bedsheet, and spandex jammies. That Boy Scout loyalty really fell through. You were America's sweetheart until it couldn't sell you. That's capitalism, and it'll always live on. While all your fans are dead like your peeps on Krypton.
I got fans. Call them my super friends. When we hang out, there are always shenanigans. Aquaman's cool, he and I exchange fist bumps. Wonder Woman sees me every weekend at brunch. Of course, Batman, I love that guy. He's dark and mysterious, super fly. He's the world's best detective, plus he's really fit. And all the ladies love him for his big fat oh, you know what? I really don't want to swear. Batman, are you sure I'm doing this right?
What? No, come on! It's great! The kids are gonna love it!
You think so? Because, I mean, Lex Luthor guessing on my own song seems counterintuitive, and, well, now I'm talking about you and your
Look, you wanted my help, right?
well, yes, but,
Well then shut up! Look, trust me, it's gonna be great. Dumbass. Alright, one more chorus and we're out.
okay.
He's the best friend of Batman, but not as cool as Batman.
Batman, get out of here. Come on.
Okay, I'm sorry, I'll stop. I'm having too much fun. Go ahead.
Morality and chivalry, I got it on lock. And I f***ed all the bitches with my alien.
Oh my god! Oh, I can't believe you actually said it! Oh man, that's staying in.
No, Batman, can we redo that, please?
No, we're keeping that.
No, I didn't write that. I can't have that in my song.
Alright, I think that's a wrap!
No, it's not. No, get back here. No, don't
Alright,
leave.
who wants tacos?
No, I don't
I
want
know
tacos.
I
We
want
just
some.
ate. Get
Oh,
back
man,
here.
I am
Where are you going? Batman, come back. Batman! Oh, shucks. Hello, everyone. Thanks for watching. We want to give a huge shout out to Epic Lloyd for doing an awesome job as Lex Luthor in this video. To check out his hilarious new musical comedy series, Epic Studios, click the box on the left. And if you'd like to see more of our music, click the box on the right. And be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all the latest Warp Zone content. Superman, up, and away!
Oh, that was pretty crass. Anyway. Yeah, stuff on. It was on one of my trending sections.
Have you heard about Goodyear Home Install? Now, when you buy tires...
But yeah, stuff on my YouTube here. Anything else interesting? Oh, Blade Runner.
Seems to me that we all here with our guns trying to convince these people we're really nice guys.
We can stay in Afghanistan forever.
It's a lost cause.
That's why I'm gonna win it.
It's impossible to imagine the long-awaited sequel to Blade Runner without some version of the iconic music that Vangelis composed for the original. That's because the Blade Runner score is more than a score. It's an indispensable element of the movie. I mean, you could make that argument about almost all film music. A movie minus its music is not the same movie. I mean, that's true too if you were to swap one kind of music for another. In the video I did on Howard Shore's incredible leitmotifs in The Lord of the Rings, I tried to show how the score helped guide and elevate the emotional beats of the story. It's great work from a great composer and hugely influential on the trilogy. But I think Blade Runner's music is different. It plays a different role. The score isn't laid on top of the visuals. It's not a guide or an addition. The music is sort of baked into the DNA of the movie itself. All the audio that you hear, including score, sound design, and dialogue, it's tightly integrated. Each blurs into the others. This integration is really what separates Blade Runner from other science fiction films. After all, electronic music had been a staple of science fiction cinema for 3 decades by then, going all the way back to Bernard Herrmann's use of the theremin in The Day the Earth Stood Still. Herrmann and other revolutionary composers like Lewis and B.B. Barron used winding, bending, sputtering electronic sounds to evoke aliens and alien planets. Blade Runner is somewhere in the middle between the amelodic soundscapes of Forbidden Planet and the grand symphonic themes of something like Star Wars. And Vangelis is pulling from that same toolbox of electronic sounds, but these noises are put to use for a more musical purpose. In order to achieve that dreamlike quality that the film has, the audience shouldn't be able to identify where the music ends and the world begins. The atmospherics that infuse this scene are a good example of what I'm talking about. They sound a little bit like wind chimes, something that could very well be in the space and match pretty well with the dancing light on the walls. And yet the sound is so layered with faint computery noises that it could also be a machine somewhere in the room. It also serves as a kind of atmospheric bed from which the clearly non-diegetic, not in the world, strings rise as Rachel enters.
Do you like our owl?
Even the dialogue has a lot of reverb, giving it the same dreamy quality as the score and the sound effects.
I'm Rachel.
Deckard.
Of course, reverberation is absolutely everywhere in Blade Runner. You could even say that it's the manipulation of reverb that gives Blade Runner its distinct feeling. And though Vangelis is such a virtuoso at wielding it, the digital reverb that you hear in this movie was something relatively new to music at the time. The world's first digital reverberation machine, the EMT-250, was released only 6 years before Blade Runner premiered in 1982. We all have a natural sense of reverb. We hear it when we're in big spaces, how our voice reverberates and decays across the room. Digital reverb uses algorithms to extend that decay even more. The Lexicon 224, which is what Vangelis used for Blade Runner, could extend decays up to 70 seconds, allowing you to make spacey, ethereal sounds like this. The emphasis on reverb accomplishes a few things. As essayist Andrew Stiller noted, heavy reverb, because it implies a huge, enclosed, hard surface space, creates a mood of mystery and paranoia. It also gives everything a feeling of distance, as if the audio is coming from far away, like in a dream. And finally, reverberation blends things together. And this is one of the crucial ways Vangelis folds separate audio sources into one aural master track. Because that is the goal here. Every scene is composed to create this cohesive acoustic environment. Sometimes the emphasis is on dialogue or sound effects, other times it's on the nostalgic music that calls back to classic film noir. Except that solo saxophone was never actually used in classic film noir, which is a whole nother video, but anyway. Most of these scenes were interpreted by Vangelis on the spot. The way he composed the music for Blade Runner was by watching the freshly edited scenes on a screen in his studio and playing whatever they evoked in him at the time. He used primarily the Yamaha CS80, an analog synthesizer featured so prominently in Blade Runner that Vangelis has his own section in the CS80 Wikipedia page. Even today, the CS80 is prized among audiophiles. It seems like anybody who ever writes about it describes it as a living, breathing thing. And that's partly down to the fact that the keys were pressure sensitive, so the sound that it produced has a marvelous acoustic quality. In a way, it's the perfect instrument for Blade Runner, a machine with the ability to match the emotional weight of the real thing.
See, in one go, you can have from there to there, there's different sound, to there, which is different sound, to there, which is different again.
As much as possible, Vangelis used his spontaneous first-take compositions, and the result is a deeply personal reaction to the images, a second vision that fuses with the director's own. Vangelis, like the great composer Edgar Varese before him, attempted to bring to life the complete sound profile of the city, interpreted through the genres of Blade Runner. Anybody who's lived in a large metropolis knows that sound is a constant feature there. At night, you might hear a siren or a scream somewhere in the distance. We may not have wheezing or sputtering machines, but these days we sure have a lot of beeping ones. Vangelis strings all these disparate noises together with musical themes that are stunning and appropriate. When the music swirls, it's as if it's coming from within the characters themselves, like an internal cry or a release. Unfortunately, Vangelis isn't coming back for Blade Runner 2049. His job is going to Johan Johansson, a great composer who's worked with director Denis Villeneuve 3 times before. I don't envy him. I mean, everybody's going to be waiting for him to play someone else's iconic music. If I were him, I'd resist the urge to mimic Vangelis completely, as much as I'd like to hear every classic note again. The sequel deserves music as personal and human as its original. I'm excited to hear Johan Johansson's interpretation of a world that so many of us are so eager to return to. Hey everybody, thank you so much for watching. This episode was brought to you by The Great Courses Plus. The Great Courses Plus is an on-demand video learning service, which basically means that it's got around 7,000 online video lecture series from some great Ivy League professors and other professors about all kinds of subjects, math, history, archaeology, etc. One that I think you should really check out is called Music and the Brain by Professor Patel, which explores in depth the neurological relationship to music over 18 awesome episodes. If you go to thegreatcoursesplus.com/nerdwriter, it's the first link in the description, you can get a 30-day free trial, and after that, annual memberships are $14.99 a month, and monthly memberships are $19.99 a month. Thanks guys, I'll see you all next time.
Depression is a tangle of multiple symptoms. That's why there's Trintellix, a prescription medication for depression. Trintellix may help you take a step forward in improving your depression. Tell your healthcare professional right away if your depression worsens or you have unusual changes in mood, behavior, or thoughts of suicide. Antidepressants can increase these in children, teens, and young adults. Do not take with MAOIs. Tell your healthcare professional about your medications, including migraine, psychiatric, and depression medications, to avoid a potentially life-threatening condition. Increased risk of bleeding or bruising may occur, especially if taken with NSAID pain relievers, aspirin, or blood thinners. Manic episodes or vision problems may occur in some people. May cause low sodium levels. The most common side effects were nausea, constipation, and vomiting. Trintellix had no significant impact on weight in clinical trials. Ask your healthcare professional about Trintellix.
It was Stephen Fry, I think, who said, "A true thing, poorly expressed, is a lie."
It's the theory that the language you speak determines how you think, and...
Yeah, it affects how you see everything.
The point being that there is no thought without expression, no content without form, that an idea, however profound it feels to you, does not really exist until you can write it down, or in some cases, put it on film. To watch Denis Villeneuve's Arrival is to watch a filmmaker in command of the language his ideas presuppose, which is to say that he has a firm grasp on craft. I can't really tell you how soothing this is for me as a filmgoer, to feel that I'm in the hands of someone who knows why the film is constructed the way it is. So much of today's filmmaking is all over the place, to the point where the viewer has to exert themselves more to compensate for a lack of focus. In this way, I think Arrival is the perfect response to the bad movies we see so much of. Pretty much everything they do wrong, Arrival does right. It is effective and impactful, and it does this by focusing on the very thing that affects and impacts us, language. But I think Arrival is just as concerned with the language of film as it is with written or spoken or alien language. For example, the first couple scenes are kind of like an enlarged experiment in the Kuleshov Effect, the phenomenon in which a viewer derives meaning from two sequential shots that Hitchcock famously illustrated by turning a kindly gentleman into a pervert by replacing a single reverse shot. Villeneuve does the same thing in Arrival, but on the scene level. The first scene is a montage of the birth and young death of Amy Adams' daughter. The second scene is Adams coming to teach at her school on the day of the aliens' arrival. Because of the tragedy we witness in the first scene and our assumption that the film's timeline is linear, we read Adam's disinterest here as despondency, and her general dry demeanor as one of deep sadness and heartache. It's not until we finish the film and learn that the opening montage happens after the events of the movie that we understand Adams in the second scene was merely a blank canvas that we attached meaning to.
Montage means the assembly of pieces of film, which, moved in rapid succession before the eye, create an idea.
What separates Villeneuve from many other filmmakers is his ability to generate ideas with cinematic craft, then on another level, mingle those ideas, collide and blend them to create a higher order of meaning. So what's the meaning, for example, that Villeneuve suggests with this Kuleshov Effect experiment? Perhaps that the future can influence the past. That's certainly a reasonable thing to derive from this kind of experience in the film. In fact, it's an idea that turns out to be the key to the climax of Arrival, as Adams learns that the aliens are higher dimensional beings that can see all of time at once, and uses that skill to access future events to influence her present.
I called you, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
But you could also read another meaning from the same experience, namely that communication is limited by perspective. From our perspective at the beginning of the film, everything tells us that Adams is grieving. Only later do we learn that that wasn't true. This too is a major theme of Arrival. The limits of human communication are reinforced and expanded upon and probed throughout the film. The limits of our biology, of relying on what our senses report. The limits imposed on us by our culture or our own personalities.
Trust me, you can understand communication and still end up single.
In Conversation with the Aliens, communication is literally imagined as a screen, a mediator that blurs intention. Now, screens can connect us. They can also divide us. And it's the same with communication. Communication is a link between two parties, but it's a link that often facilitates a split.
Language is the foundation of civilization. It is the glue that holds the people together. It is the first weapon drawn in a conflict.
We are falling asleep at the wheel, people. You know what I'm talking about? I know you do.
What's important here is not that both these readings are valid. They are, but that both have echoes elsewhere in the film and echo off each other. A theme, once introduced, isn't wasted. The alien language is circular, so the film is too. The difficulty of cooperation in the small group at the Montana site echoes the difficulty of cooperation between nations. Louise's understanding of her displacement in time happens simultaneously with the audience's realization that the events depicted aren't linear.
Non-zero sum game.
Every theme is filtered through other moments and characters and eventually other themes until it starts to feel like something solid. You start to think, what is the relationship between language and time? Maybe it's that the mind is not a thing but a process, language happening in time, just like film is communication occurring in time.
Ни одно из искусств не может зафиксировать время, кроме кино. По существу, что такое фильм? Это мозаика из времени.
So much of Arrival seems to be about the possibility of meaning in film. What is it? Where does it come from? I think Villeneuve imagines it as an alien spacecraft, mysterious, obscure, an expression that's not quite written or spoken language and so always difficult to decipher. It's something, when bored out of craft and character and story, is always hovering over the film. It's always in the background, seen from different angles, impossible to avoid. Arrival isn't just a repudiation of bad movies because it leads by example. It's also, I think, an active exploration into what makes a movie great. It explores the kind of unique perspective that a film can gift to the filmgoer, like a language gifted by aliens, and what kind of brand new world that perspective allows us to see.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching. Happy Wednesday and happy Valentine's Day to my girlfriend who's sitting right over there. Even though it's a day late, I recorded this on Valentine's Day, so I love you, baby. Anyway, Thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring this video. If you don't know, Squarespace has beautiful award-winning designer templates for websites for your business. So if you're a musician or a restaurant or whatever, Squarespace is the perfect all-in-one tool for designing a website for that. It's flexible, the domain names are really easy, and you don't have to know coding or anything. And if you use the offer code NERDWRITER, you can get 10% off your first purchase, which is pretty cool. Anyway, thanks guys for that, and I'll see the rest of you next Wednesday. Love you, baby.
See?
Please welcome two-time Academy Award winner and Academy Governor, Tom Hanks.
The last time 10 films were nominated for Best Picture was 1943. The world was at war, and Casablanca took home the big prize. It's now time to find out which one of this year's 10 great films joins a list that includes that Bogart and Bergman classic. And the winner is...
Let me ask you a question. Do you own James Cameron's Avatar? Have you seen it a second time? Me neither. All its visual splendor, innovation, ambition just wasn't enough to suffer through its 178 minutes of derivative, heavy-handed storytelling again.
What the hell have you people been smoking out there?
Now, Avatar isn't the first or the 50th larger-than-life blockbuster with a mediocre narrative, but it's perhaps the worst film to be nominated for Best Picture at the Academy Awards. Certainly the worst to be favored.
And the winner is... The Hurt Locker. Catherine Bigelow, Nicholas Sharp.
Its loss to The Hurt Locker in 2010 felt like an assertion of values for an industry that was showing all the signs of a gradual amnesia about what constitutes a great film. For the record, Avatar didn't astonish me visually either. It doubled down on gimmicks that I despise, namely 3D. This is part of what makes me so sad about Christopher Nolan's Interstellar. In a world of James Cameron's and George Lucas's, Nolan is a warrior for stylistic purity. Whereas others seem convinced that cinema needs to move in revolutionary new directions to survive, Nolan sees that the possibilities of two dimensions haven't even come close to being exhausted, let alone fully realized. He's among the last to fight for everything we treasure about celluloid. For this reason and others, it may be unfair to compare Interstellar to Avatar, but I don't think it's unreasonable either. Both films are big, muscular operations that collapse onto weak skeletons. Both force themselves to use characters as vehicles for exposition, then choose to use them as megaphones for awkward philosophical declarations.
Love isn't something we invented. It's observable, powerful. It has to mean something.
Of course, Interstellar is noticeably smarter than Avatar, but that's not always to its credit. The film operates on so many levels, it's hard to identify which one is meant to be the emotional core. If it's supposed to be the relationship with Cooper, Matthew McConaughey, and his daughter, then why does Nolan devote so little time to it? Like with the blight destroying Earth's crops, inspiring Cooper's mission to find new worlds, most of the father-daughter relationship has to be inferred by the viewer. Elsewhere in the film, we're subjected to multiple explanations of relativity and gravity and wormholes. Exactly where we want the movie to force inference, it lingers. Where we need more exploration and screen time, it holds back. Now, these criticisms are not new to Nolan's films. None of them are more interested in people than concepts. With smaller budgets and simpler ideas, he was better at keeping everything self-contained. Memento and Batman Begins, for example, are triumphs of airtight storytelling. But as Nolan's reach and funding grows, things seem to be escaping his control. After seeing Inception, my first thought was, where does he go from here? I didn't think you could get any headier than dreams within dreams. I didn't think you could do any more of that signature 3-scene intercutting without the novelty dying. I was convinced Inception would force Nolan to regroup. And what came next was a tedious final Batman film, then this. While there's less intercutting in Interstellar, the only instance comes 2/3 through the film, and it's predictably rousing, the ideas are even headier, only now there are too many for any one to get its due. The film attempts to accommodate wormholes, time travel, fifth-dimensional beings that may or may not be us from the future, relativity, survival, and love, all while advancing a very anti-Avatar message about the environment. We're not meant to restore Earth's delicate biosphere. We're meant to leave it behind. Even Kubrick would have struggled with that much of a conceptual payload. Indeed, it's impossible not to think of 2001: A Space Odyssey while watching Interstellar, though the comparisons it invites aren't generous to the latter. Like Nolan, Kubrick is famous for a lack of humanity in his characters, but where Nolan's leads are often dry and tiresome, Kubrick's are cold and punishing, and those qualities have value in respect to the film's impact. Note the average length of shots in the two movies. You'd be hard-pressed to find many shots longer than 5 seconds in Interstellar, but it would be difficult to find many less than 20 seconds in 2001. Kubrick forces you to come to terms with something before he lets you see the next thing. Nolan is already 5 shots ahead of you by the time you grasp how one image fits with the rest. With Kubrick, there's always a U-sized hole demanding engagement, mutating based on when, where, and who you are. Nolan's whiplash of action encourages passivity. Other criticisms were matched by unintentional laughter in the theater. Anne Hathaway's mawkish oration on love.
Maybe it means something more, something we can't yet understand.
Matt Damon's cameo, a lesson in the perils of too much secrecy prior to a film's release. Jessica Chastain was given basically nothing of substance to work with, and Michael Caine's multiple recitations of Dylan Thomas's "Do Not Go Gentle Into That Good Night" play like something I might write into a screenplay, which is no compliment. Maybe all this is too harsh. The film, after all, is a far cry from bad. Still, I find myself coming down harder on Nolan than on many of his peers, like a teacher might on a favorite student. I have a real stake in Christopher Nolan's work, in the kind of work he represents. I enjoy intimate dramas as much as the next filmgoer, but cinema without 70mm IMAX spectaculars is an incomplete form, and Nolan is basically the last name in original mega movies with profound ambitions. That's why you should want to see a film like Interstellar, because it would be a shame to miss it. Grandeur, intelligence, spectacle, and story are not mutually exclusive, and Chris Nolan is stretching the potential of cinema toward their union like no other director. But we have to stick to our assertion of values about what constitutes a great film. Internal consistency, storytelling that challenges, not confuses the viewer, and dynamic, deeply drawn characters. These are standards that should remain unaffected by scope or singularity of vision. Hey everybody, thanks for watching. I am back from Paris. The beard's a little bit longer. I am a little bit more rested, but I am really excited to get back to work on these videos. I've never come back from a vacation and wanted to go back to work before, so this is a really new and really awesome feeling. So thank you guys for making that possible by supporting this channel and these videos on my Patreon page. You can click right here to pledge as little as $1. Anything helps to keep this channel going. Still need to build it up a little bit. It's just barely financially feasible for me, but you've been amazing so far. So thank you so much for that. You're gonna see another video next Wednesday and another video next Wednesday after that. And I am very, very pumped, like I said, to be back at work making The Nerd Writer. So bye!
I am not a destroyer of companies. I am a liberator of them.
The point is, ladies and gentlemen, that greed, for lack of a better word, is good. Greed is right. Greed works. Greed clarifies, cuts through, and captures the essence of the evolutionary spirit. Greed in all of its forms. Greed for life, for money, for love, knowledge, has marked the upward surge of mankind, and greed, you mark my words, will not only save Teldar paper, but that other malfunctioning corporation called the USA. Thank you very much.
Despite this famous speech from Oliver Stone's Wall Street, extolling the virtues of greed, excess, and capitalism, no one could ever accuse Stone or the film itself of doing the same thing. Indeed, it's because of Gordon Gekko's sermon that we know the opposite is true. If we're all greedy, we can win together. That's the essence of Gekko's message. Of course, Oliver Stone and the rest of us know that in a connected capitalist society, greed always works at the expense of others. And when later in the film we watch Bud Fox learn how Gekko planned to gain at the expense of his father, the moral hypocrisy of Gekko and the film's central condemnation of capitalist excess is laid bare. But that was then, and this is now.
In the morning, and I'm zoning, I think I'm possessed. It's an omen, I keep it 300, like the Romans, 300 bitches, we're the Trojans, baby, we living in the moment. I've been a menace for the longest, but I ain't finished. I'm devoted, and you know it, and you know it. Ah!
26 years after Oliver Stone made Wall Street, Martin Scorsese gives us The Wolf of Wall Street. Compare Gordon Gekko's moral defense of excess with these comments made by Scorsese's protagonist, Jordan Belfort.
I was selling garbage to garbage men and making cash hand over fist. So I was selling them shit.
Fuego!
The way I looked at it, their money was better off in my pocket. I knew how to spend it better.
Belfort, unlike Gekko, makes no moral argument for his greed. He knows what he's doing is wrong, he does it anyway. There's no great tragedy haunting his steps like the downfall of Gordon Gekko or the extreme paranoia and eventual disappearance of one of Scorsese's other great protagonists, Henry Hill from Goodfellas. Belfort does go to prison for a short time, but as he soon discovers...
See, for a brief, fleeting moment, I'd forgotten I was rich. And I lived in a place where everything was for sale.
Belfort's crimes are met with minimal punishment, both physical and psychological. And just to twist the knife on that fact, Scorsese has the man himself, the actual Jordan Belfort, introduce his character as
the single baddest motherfucker I have ever met.
So maybe it's no surprise that The Wolf of Wall Street was raked through the mud by a number of critics for glorifying, apologizing, endorsing capitalist excess. Scorsese's film certainly doesn't offer the negative critique of tragedies like Wall Street or Goodfellas. It doesn't even offer a satirical critique of late capitalism, such as you might see in films like American Psycho, where Patrick Bateman's smooth, almost enlightened exterior is undermined by his psychopathy, self-loathing, and psychological breakdown. A satirical critique of capitalism would require the movie itself, in its tone and themes, to ridicule or expose the improper behavior it displays. But The Wolf of Wall Street gives us no such thing. The joke is never on Jordan Belfort, it's on everyone else, his wife, his friends, his enemies, and the world at large. We're not made aware of some unknown underwriting sadness. Quite the opposite. Belfort is perfectly disaffected by the scummy ways he makes his money and the debaucherous lifestyle he spends it on. His personal philosophy echoes that of Alien from Harmony Korine's Spring Breakers.
Some people, they want to do the right thing. I like doing the wrong thing. Everyone's always telling me, yo, you gotta change. I'm about stacking change, yo. Stacking change. That's it. Money.
Both films are prime examples of what film critic Izzy Black has called the new cinema of excess. Films in which greed and excess are explored, but never for a moment condemned. Indeed, a key feature of this kind of cinema is that the film itself partakes in the excess it shows. Nowhere is this more clear than in Wolf, which runs for 3 hours and moves from montage to montage in ever crazier flights of hedonism. But just because Scorsese refuses to condemn Belfort doesn't mean that he's, by extension, endorsing him either. Excess is excess. It's exhausting. It's too much, too fast. Scorsese has no illusions about this. His extensive use of close-up reveals the vulgarity of this way of living. His montages exhaust rather than glamorize. The hedonism to which we're privy is less attractive than disorienting, less desirable than overwhelming.
I will not die sober. Get those fucking
fucking loose!
The Wolf of Wall Street is a descriptive project, learning from its moralizing predecessors, even the predecessors in Scorsese's own filmography. There were no Bud Foxes to take down the Gordon Geckos of the 80s. There wasn't even anyone to take down Belfort's ilk in the 90s. The folly of late capitalism got worse and worse, not hitting its lowest point until 2008 in the financial recession. And it's unclear, despite new regulations, if any of those lessons were really taken to heart. The reason for this is because the excesses of Jordan Belfort are our excesses. Like him, we're too enlightened not to know the expense at which our gazillion products are made. Like him, we don't really make an attempt at moralizing away our involvement in that system. We just don't care. The disgust we feel for Belfort is hypocritical. The indignation we inflict on him is less a righteous act than a self-righteous delusion. Scorsese refuses to participate in that delusion anymore. And the result is a film so unapologetically excessive that the audience might finally realize that the screen they thought they were watching was, in fact, a camera.
I'm a road runner, honey. Beep, beep.
The first thing everyone notices about Blade Runner is how beautiful it is. Along with William Gibson's novel Neuromancer, the film is credited with the creation of the cyberpunk genre, a science fiction subgenre marked by the confluence of high tech and low life. Blade Runner's Los Angeles of 2019 is the archetype of that style, creating it more than describing it, with its giant arcologies, neon-laced storefronts, probing lights, and rain. Director Ridley Scott is perhaps the only person who could have adapted this movie from the Philip K. Dick novel Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep, adept as he was at creating atmospherics in the 3,000 TV commercials he directed. In Blade Runner, his trade was fully realized in the service of a simple story loaded with thematic explorations. Most of what you need to know about the plot is explained before the film even starts. Men created smart androids called replicants, some rebelled, cops called Blade Runners were hired to kill them, now the replicants are banned from Earth and given meager 4-year lifespans.
There was an escape from the off-world colonies 2 weeks ago. 6 replicants, 3 male, 3 female. They slaughtered 23 people and jumped a shuttle.
In the first act of the film, we learn that 4 replicants escaped their banishment and came back to Earth, and Rick Deckard, a retired Blade Runner, is being called back into action to deal with them. In that process, we are confronted with an avalanche of big ideas, what it means to be human, how our memories create who we are, themes of love, exploitation, post-colonialism, social hierarchy, and social decay. And we're given a number of visual symbols as ways into them. For example, eyes feature prominently in the movie. The film opens with an all-seeing eye beholding the world. Deckard and the other Blade Runners use eye scanners to detect empathetic responses and determine who is and isn't a replicant. Roy Batty, in his fight to expand his 4-year lifespan, visits the man who designed his eyes.
If only you could see what I've seen with your eyes.
And the retinas of replicants and other fabricated things are reflective, suggesting that eyes not only see, but reveal, and see how Batty finally kills Tyrell, his maker. Much has been noted in other analyses that I'll link to below
of Blade Runner's literal representation of social hierarchy, how the upper world is crisp, clean, and predominantly Caucasian, and how the street-level world is dirty, chaotic, and multicultural, paralleling the white flight of the mid-20th century. Much has also been said about the question of whether Rick Deckard is, in fact, a replicant. The film suggests that he is by the use of some strategically placed origami, and also there's this.
He's a replicant.
But what I really want to focus on is Blade Runner's vision of modernity. It's a vision that finds its expression necessarily in moments between developments of the plot. Take this shot, for example, when Roy Batty speaks with fellow replicant Leon before going into the eye shop. Here is where the relevant action ends, but Ridley Scott will extend this shot for 20 more seconds. Here's what we see. Moments like this are weaved throughout the film, adding atmospheric and emotional context to the main story. Their overall effect, the effect of the film in general, is to produce a world the keynote of which is malaise. See, though it's always cited as a major theme of Blade Runner, I think the question of each character's individual humanity is beyond debate. We would all be willing, I think, to grant the label of human to every main player in the film, replicant or not. The central problem of modernity isn't humanity, it's identity. All the freedom of modern society, all its secularism and egalitarianism and choice, conceals a darker side to the coin, the side in which human identity isn't determined by the society, but by the individual, making its formation, by definition, problematic. The issue of identity is Deckard's central struggle in the film. His inner conflict comes from the gradual breakdown of the only identity he's ever had as a Blade Runner. When Deckard, who has no family or relation to speak of, tells Rachel that she is indeed a replicant, in effect destroying her identity.
Remember when you were 6? You and your brother snuck into an empty building through a basement window? You were gonna play doctor?
We can see that his self-definition begins to turn on him. He starts to feel her pain as his own, and he begins to loathe who he is.
I made a bad joke. You're not a replicant. Go home. Okay?
He compensates for his self-hatred by drinking. His aggressive sexual encounter with Rachel later in the film is a compensation, a search for a new identity in love, something we can all relate to. He forces her to say, "Kiss me," because he needs that reciprocation for it to be real. This is not an excuse for assault. It's an exploration of why it happens. Okay, here's my favorite scene of the film, one that is so easy to miss, but which rings so true to modern life that it always makes me cry. After Deckard kills one of the replicants, he goes to a stall to buy some liquor, almost in shock. Take a look.
I'm in it. Yeah, what do you want?
Ciao. This enough?
Yeah.
Liquor may be what he needs to deal with the pain of doing something he feels is wrong. But what he really needs is some kind of connection, some place where the rules of interaction are still solid and knowable. Harrison Ford plays that short scene with such vulnerability, and it's vulnerability I know. And I know the malaise, the ennui, the alienation. I know what Leon means when he says,
"Nothing is worse than having an itch you can never scratch."
I agree.
In the climax of the film, Deckard watches his nemesis, who was himself searching for a new identity, resigned to the one he's been given.
I've seen things you people wouldn't believe. Attack ships on fire off the shoulder of Orion. I watched C-beams glitter in the dark near the Tannhauser Gate. All those moments will be lost in time, like tears in rain.
For all its poetry, and it is one of the best speeches in film history, no question, it's not really a satisfactory answer to the puzzle of modernity. But Blade Runner doesn't seek to give answers. Modern life is two-sided, and its psychological curses are proportional to its gifts. Blade Runner skews that proportion, turns the dark underside up to 11 to bring into focus the consequences of a society that, for all its members, is as limitless as the vast architecture of a city, yet as indifferent as the rain. Like all artists, filmmakers have a unique set of tools at their disposal: cameras, lenses, lights, microphones, music, and they use these tools to tell their story or set a scene. The director David Lynch has, of course, the same tools as everybody else, but Lynch manipulates more than just these physical instruments. More depthly and more strangely than any other director I know of, he uses expectation as a tool. He wields expectation, the expectation that comes from what we know about film, about its history, the history of stories, and from our humanity, with the same nuance and power as someone else might use light to create a variety of moods in a space. Today I want to look at how Lynch manipulates our expectations in a single scene from his masterpiece Mulholland Drive to guide us towards some interesting emotional territory. The scene I'm talking about is one of my favorite ever, the audition scene where Betty, played by Naomi Watts, tries out for a part in a small movie we later learn is called The Sylvia North Story. The scene occurs about halfway through the film. Betty has come to Hollywood, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, to be a movie star.
Well, of course, I'd rather be known as a great actress than a movie star. But, you know, sometimes people end up being both.
She's staying at her aunt's house where she discovers Rita, a woman who's been in a car accident and has lost all her memory. Our expectations for the audition have already been set up by much of what we've witnessed leading up to the scene. Betty doesn't seem to be a character with much internal depth or darkness. Her flatness of affect is even parodied in her very first scene at the airport, where the dialogue is clearly overdubbed and fake.
Okay, Irene. Won't that be the day?
Her blind kindness makes her vulnerable to exploitation. She doesn't even really care that a stranger is living in her aunt's house. So coming into the audition, we're feeling a couple things. We're somewhat invested in Betty's success, a basic expectation for any protagonist. But we're wary of some danger that may be in store because of her innocence, and we have little or no expectation that she will impress with her acting chops.
Betty, why don't you join Woody over there and we'll play the scene?
And of course, the last thing to mention is that we've already seen this scene played out once before, back at the house, a practice round, a tryout for a tryout with Betty and Rita.
You're still here? I came back. I thought that's what you wanted.
Nobody wants you here.
In this first reading, the scene is revealed to be trite, the dialogue cliched and melodramatic. Betty's character rebukes her father's friend who is trying to seduce her for the second time, it seems, and she moves closer and closer as her threats become more stern. The two women can't even finish without laughing at the soap opera quality of the script.
Then I cry, and then I say with big emotion, I hate you! I hate us both!
So a universe of expectation has been laid out for the viewer. We'll see in a second how those expectations will work as a trap. But at the start, everything in the audition room seems to reinforce what we already think. The people are about as stiff as the gaudy wood paneling. Betty's reading partner Woody looks like a star of All My Children who spent a little too much time in the sun. The director is absent-minded and laughable. So when the scene begins and Woody corrals Betty into his slimy grasp, what triggers first is our awareness of how vulnerable she is. And when she pushes him away, we don't know if she's reacting as herself or as the character.
Nobody wants you here.
Then Woody moves to put his hands below her waist, and something incredible happens. a transformation so sudden that the viewer experiences whiplash. As the critic George Tolles notes, we're lured into engaging emotionally with this scene when Lynch triggers our expectation that Betty might be exploited. We've dropped our guard a little, but it's already too much. We've surrendered enough so that when Lynch switches the bait, we're left in awe at what happens next.
You know what I want. It's not that difficult.
Get out. Get out before I call my dad. He trusts you. You're his best friend.
All throughout the film, from the overdubbed dialogue on down, David Lynch has made us privy to the veneer of things. It's all curiously two-dimensional, and that puts us on our guard. Since surfaces are what we get, Lynch encourages us to examine those surfaces, always remaining detached enough for a disinterested, critical view of what we're seeing. But as with everything that Lynch does, this two-dimensionality, this flatness, is also a deception.
And I know you said you would entertain suggestions, and that's all anybody here is asking you to do.
What are you talking about?
While we think we're on our guard, superior to the cloying emotions of Hollywood wish fulfillment, Lynch relishes dropping the bottom out, showing us just how unprepared and susceptible we are to emotions that our society treasures or deeply fears. In a scene that mirrors the audition, Betty and Rita go to a place called Club Silencio, where a special show is underway. The host repeats again and again,
No hay banda! There is no band!
Everything you're hearing, he says, is a tape recording. Expectations for the scene are made totally explicit. Then a woman comes out and sings a truly heartbreaking Spanish version of Roy Orbison's Crying. Lynch pushes tight into her face in an extreme close-up, and the film begins to taunt us.
Y siempre estaré llorando por tu amor.
What's at stake here, as in any movie, is belief. Can the director make you believe the artifice being presented to you? It's why directors use expectations we've inculcated from other films. When two people lock eyes for the first time and the camera pushes in, that's love at first sight. And this is one way to generate belief. The definition of expectation is a strong belief that something will happen. But Lynch goes a step further. In one way, he sets up an expectation, then lures you into believing the opposite. So when the rug is pulled out, the audience is left suspended, caught out and captured, engaging fully with the terrifying nothingness that they were warned against. When the film finally takes its hard right turn, revealing Betty's true story of pain and degradation, we're confronted again with the same feeling, believing we're going to get the key to the mystery, but instead are only sunk deeper into the dream. It's worth noting, by the way, that this all comes from an expectation that goes unfulfilled. But the audition scene plays the reverse feeling, and I think this is important. Instead of pulling the rug out to reveal an abyss, we come in fully prepared and analytical, only to be dropped into a space of raw and honest emotion. Even though we know it's acted, even though we know this is a film, we're entranced, totally believing the moment, not because our expectations were fulfilled, but because they were subverted in a way that we didn't think was possible.
Then I cry, and then I say with big emotion, I hate you! I hate us both.
Not content with the dreams that Hollywood has been feeding us en masse for decades, David Lynch uses cliched expectation to move us into the spaces film has yet to go, showing us the dangers and the hopes of believing.
Oh, I can't believe it.
That's a lot of Lynch in a week period. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Happy Wednesday. Thank you so much, guys, for all the well wishes on my TEDx talk a couple weeks ago. The support
it just makes me feel good. I have to thank Squarespace for sponsoring this video. They do intuitive, sleek websites where you just, go on and start making one. If you go to squarespace.com and sign up for a year, you can get a free trial. And if you use the offer code NERDWRITER, you can get 10% off your first purchase. Thank you guys. Thank you everybody again. I will see you next Wednesday.
Have you heard about Goodyear Home Install? Now, when you buy tires on Goodyear.com, you can get expert tire installation that comes to you at no extra charge. At home, at work, or even at school. Goodyear Home Install. Our tires, your place.
Mulholland Drive is a David Lynch masterpiece and has all the standard Lynch trademarks. A narrative that doesn't always make sense, seemingly unconnected vignettes, and scenes rich with symbolism. It is for these reasons that there are multiple interpretations of Mulholland Drive, and as Lynch has remained cryptic whenever pressed for answers, there can be no definitive guide when it comes to explain all that Mulholland Drive means. Nevertheless, I'm going to take the next few minutes to offer my own explanation and analysis of a movie which has intrigued and engaged so many. Mulholland Drive makes a lot more sense once the entire film has been viewed, as there are some major revelations in the latter half of the movie. The tale is essentially the story of an embittered actress who takes out a hit on her ex-lover and professional rival. Diane Selwyn came to Hollywood from Deep River, Ontario with dreams of making it big. She won a dance competition back in her hometown, and her success spurred her on to pursue a career in Hollywood. Unfortunately, in Hollywood, she's a small fish in a big pond, and success has eluded her. The same isn't true for her friend and lover Camilla Rhodes, a strikingly beautiful actress who appears to have gotten ahead using her looks and sexuality. Diane and Camilla met on the set of a film called The Sylvia North Story, which was directed by a Bob Brooker. Both Diane and Camilla tried out for the lead, and it was Camilla who got the part. Diane feels professional jealousy over Camilla's success, while at the same time, she is also in love with her. The pair are engaged in a sexual relationship. However, Diane isn't the only one who has been seduced by Camilla's charms. A love rival emerges in the form of their current director, Adam Kesher. Kesher has recently split from his wife, who was sleeping with the pool man, and he and Camilla have embarked on an affair. Diane is at an all-time low, and she snaps when Camilla and Kesher announce plans to marry at a dinner party. Soon afterward, Diane takes out a hit on Camilla, but she is engulfed by guilt. Unable to deal with her failure as an actress and the evil she has just committed, Diane falls into a dreamlike state where she reimagines the events in her life. Diane repurposes places and things from reality into her fantasy, and it is this fantasy that we the audience watch unfold for a significant portion of the film. When Diane eventually emerges from her dream, fear, depression, and guilt lead her to experience a hallucination which triggers her climactic suicide. She takes a gun from her bedside table and shoots herself in the head. Near the beginning of the film, we are in Diane's apartment and can hear what could be the sound of someone smoking cocaine. The film then pans across to Diane's red pillow. This is one of the many hints and references to dreams that the audience will receive during the film, indicating that some of what we will be.
Coach, my name is Ali. I would like to try for the wrestling team.
Do you want to win?
I need healing. I require healing. I need healing. I require healing.
Genji, I'm gonna try and be calm, but you have 199 health.
I need healing. I require healing. I need healing. I require healing. I need healing. I require healing. I need healing. Angela! My brother is dead.
My name is Soldier 76. I'm old, my skin is sagging, and I'm not too desirable to the young ladies anymore. All I know how to do is shoot a gun, occasionally wear a pretty dress, and I'm pretty good at hopscotch. I'm tired of fighting though. I wanna die a hero. Today I will fall in combat. This is the end. I've got you in my sights. I die with no regrets.
Heroes never die.
No, no! This hero wants to die! God damn it! I die with no...
Heroes never die.
Oh my god! Just let me die!
Heroes never die.
I don't feel very good.
Heroes never die.
Why won't you let me die? But
Heroes never die.
this is not living.
Heroes never die.
Must die. I die with no regrets.
Heroes never die.
I, of course, love singing Friend Like Me, and getting to do that every night is a dream come true. It's my 10-year-old self and all his dreams coming to fruition. I hope to leave, we all hope to leave a little something behind. And so if this is my mark that I get to leave, I'm really, really pleased and honored to have done that. See Disney's Broadway hits at Royal Albert Hall on Broadway HD. You can even watch in your jammies. I won't judge. I might.
Hi.
Hello.
Yeah, I'm your neighbor next door, Jerry. You moved in about a week ago. Haven't come over yet and said hello. Quite rude, not gonna lie, but I won't hold it against you. Anyway, the reason I'm here, mate, is your pet, is it?
Hildred.
Hildred, right, yeah. It's kind of making my life not great right now.
And what does this have to do with me?
Well, if you want to follow me real quick, I can show you. I can... yeah, okay. Yes, he is kind of burning my wife alive.
She has been marked by the dragon.
He also flies around.
She is a woman, a strong, independent dragon woman.
Okay, my bad, but my roof is basically just a pile of shit at this point. It's not ideal, really. He also ate my shed, the remnants of the shed.
My apologies. I will fix this. She should settle now. That is a good girl.
I appreciate the effort. You kind of destroyed my garden, though, and the neighbors opposite us. Their house is, well, it's gone.
I choose you, DIY dragon.
I don't know what to say, Oliver.
Hanzo.
Sorry, you looked a bit like an Oliver, my bad.
I bid you farewell.
Hey, thanks. If you ever fancy coming over for dinner or anything with my remains of my wife, then feel free.
Sounds nice.
Oh, sweet. Tonight at 8?
I'll be there.
That's just dandy. Oh, Hanzo, how you doing?
We have arrived.
We? This was not what I had in mind.
Okay, the last hearing of Angela Ziegler is now in session.
Can we get this done and over with?
Of course, Angela. I'm just going to ask you a couple of questions about Overwatch, and you just have to answer them as truthfully as possible.
Fine.
First question. Is it true that there is an internal power struggle going on between Gabriel Reyes and Jack Morrison?
For the last time, Gabe, we're not going to make Evanescence's Wake Me Up be Overwatch's theme. I can already tell we won't be getting along.
Nope.
Okay. Next question. Is it true that you turned one person from the Shimada clan into a cyborg ninja?
Tell me, Doctor. Did you manage to save my junk?
I'm sorry, Genji, but we couldn't. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Right. Also, you lost communication with Overwatch's Antarctica watch point some time ago. Are you sure they're alright?
They'll be fine.
We also have reports that one operative from Blackwatch is... you know.
Did you know that Hanzo was chosen to be the new leader of the Shimada family? And that he actually mastered the sword? And that he left the Shimada family after killing his brother? And that if you adore him so much, then why don't you date him? I thought about it, damn it!
Is what?
Never mind. Look, the UN is just concerned about the state of Overwatch.
Look, Overwatch might go through a rough patch right now, but we're still dedicated to protecting the citizens of the free world. And there is no way, absolutely no way, Overwatch is going to fall.
Wake me up inside. I can't wake me up inside. Say.
You never thought the price of a laundry upgrade could be so low, or saving on a refrigerator could give you chills. With Memorial Day savings, never say never. Get our lowest prices of the season. Save up to 40% on major appliances like this LG laundry pair, only at the Home Depot.
Experience tranquility. He was a good friend. Taught me a lot of yoga. He was always good too with those balls. The way he put those balls on me, I'm gonna miss those balls. Rest in peace, Zenyatta. You weirdo.
Well, that's a shame.
Yeah, I guess someone finally bust his balls, am I right?
I see what you did there. I probably shouldn't laugh like that at the funeral.
Now we gotta find a new teammate.
Don't you worry about that. I found somebody who's perfect.
Are they good with balls?
Oh, I'm sure. I'll bring them to the next fight, and they'll bring the pain.
Sounds hot. I'll wait till then.
Looks like somebody finally busted Zenyatta's balls. Am I right, loves?
Don't steal my jokes! Damn it, Farah, where are you?
Farah, reporting for duty!
Where's the teammate you were talking about?
Here she comes now.
Oh, hello!
Anna?
How you doing, you old coot?
Fine. Oh shit, get down! You okay?
Yes.
Why did you bring your mom, Farah?
I just figured you can kill two birds with one stone, you know? Family bonding time and murder.
But she's so old!
Speak for yourself, whippersnapper. Let me show you how it's done. Oh my! Farah, help! Farah,
Mom, okay,
please.
ready?
Thank God. Let us resume my killing spree. Die, you bitch! Farah, can you...
Oh, sure, yeah. Okay. Ready?
Damn, we were so close, too. I'm out of bullets! Reloading!
Oh my god.
You know what? Screw this! Attack!
Anna, no, you're gonna... What the hell was that?
We got you good!
We did.
What are you talking
talking about? I'm as fit as a fiddle, you old goon. So you can fight? I can fight, I can drive, I can play the trumpet. I can do it all, baby.
Mom's the best.
Well, then good to have you on the force, Anna. Likewise. Now let's go. My heart.
Good one, Mom. Mom.
Got you again.
Oh.
Ta-da! What do you think, guys?
My only question is why?
It's a statement, guys. Come on! I'm sick of all this female oppression, man. This represents that old men can wear dresses too, and shoot people in the head while they're doing it. Yeah, sorry, man. We can't understand what you're saying. Gotcha, yeah, have fun.
I feel sorry for the old Bastion, you know?
Yeah, me too. Not being able to talk, not being able to express his opinion on my nice, pretty dress.
Yeah, this handwriting is awful.
Wish we could do something about it.
If you can, I will make him a nice voice box.
You can do that?
You bet sure I can.
Hey, Bastion, how would you feel about being able to finally talk dirty on the phone to me? I mean, how would you feel about having a voice? I'll take that as a yes.
Montage!
Montage! We got a montage! You want a montage? Here is a montage! Montage!
My work is completed!
Bastion, say something.
Sally-ho, old bean! What a fine day for a game of Quidditch! Yes! Quidditch!
What the hell?
No!
Looks like we're needed. Come on, let's go!
Of course, silly old transvestite man!
I'm triggered.
What are we dealing with here?
All three of them. Let's try and get the jump on them. Stay behind me. Stay quiet.
Wow! Look at that bird! I love birds! And not the female kind. Yes!
We've been spotted!
Nice going, idiot!
Says the man in a pink dress! What's next? Are you going to dye your hair blue like a YouTuber? Hey, look, a bird!
Bastion, go to turn mode and take out these guys! Bastion!
Oh, quit your belly aching! Now that I have a voice, I can finally live my dream!
Hopefully it's killing these guys for us!
No! It's to be Harry Potter! Da-da-da-da-da, do-do-do! Yes! 50 points to Gryffindor! Oh my! It's the snitch! Take this, Slytherin goons! Gryffindor wins! Oh my!
You thinking what I'm thinking?
Without a doubt!
Montage! We got a montage! You want...
I agree, Harry Potter is stupid!
It's so lame, the magic and the muggles! Sorry, what did you say?
I think he said he thinks Harry Potter sucks too!
Well, I'm glad you agree with us, Bastion!
Nerf this.
Objective complete.
GG.
Nice work, D.Va.
We pwned.
Alrighty, guys. Drinks on me!
Cheers, love. All right, let me just get out of this thing.
System malfunction.
What the? I'm stuck. Help! D.Va, are you coming, love?
She'll catch up, don't worry.
All right. Oh no, I want free drinks. Let me out, you stupid. Oh man. Oh, my phone. 1% GG.
And that's what I said, it's high noon.
Good and love. Come on, pick up.
One sec, my phone's ringing. Oops, rest in peace, phone.
God damn it! Surely someone will notice I'm gone, right? Assholes! Good thing I talk to myself a lot. Just gotta keep myself entertained, I guess.
Nice job, D.Va! A static target. Ingenious! I guess that's why she didn't come out last night, guys.
Bright and early for the fight, eh, love? This does not feel good. Very quiet.
She's probably just concentrating.
Guys, help me!
Objective complete.
Woohoo!
Nice work, guys. D.Va, MVP.
Please get me out of here. I'm so thirsty. Drinks on me tonight, love.
Let's get wasted. I'm down for that.
Guys, please help me.
I guess D.Va ain't coming again. Good on you, girl. Get some rest and we'll see you tomorrow.
See ya, love. I'm sitting in a mech. I fucking pissed and shit myself. I'm all sweaty, I'm hungry. I'm talking to myself. I'm sick of playing rock, paper, scissors by myself, too. There's gotta be a way out of this. Duh! One more. Duh! Oh, shit!
To a good day in the battlefield. Cheers! A shame D.Va couldn't be here. D.Va?
I made it!
Self-destruct sequence activated.
Oh, are you fucking kidding me?
So about a month ago, there was some controversy about one of Tracer's winning poses being too sexy. I didn't pay too much attention to it seeing I had the flu, my dog died, and my boss left the company I work at. So the sexy Tracer pose was showing too much ass, and a monk and his son complained about it. Blizzard removed the pose, people got angry over the removal, so Blizzard added a different pose that is somehow more sexy but more in line with their traits and characteristics, and man, video games are weird now. Anyway, I didn't think too much about it at first, because I wasn't invited to any of the Overwatch betas. A quick sidebar here. I've been playing Blizzard games since I was like 5, and I have like 10 years of WoW subscription. I've spent more money on it than college, and I still somehow didn't get like an Overwatch invite, so thanks. But I did get into this beta weekend. It's really a fun game to hop in.
Adjective Gaming, video, Overwatch. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, you need that to play the game. Not even stats. Not even good stats.
We didn't even get a point.
But there are sexually suggestive things everywhere. So let's get the most noticeable ones out of the way. Bastion. He's clearly a robot with a minigun for a dick. Right here, balls, shafts. Clearly, it's in everybody's head. Also, there's something sexually unsettling about one of his voice clips. Also, his woodbot skin clearly has some sort of golden shaft dick thing going on down here. Moving on to D.Va. I found some pretty risque stuff. The first is a spray that clearly depicts 2 instances of jizz. Don't worry, she's 19. Also, she's a video game character. Right here. Next are 2 voice lines that are right next to each other, and when you tab between them, produces sex modes. Coincidence? No. Next is our first male character, Hanzo. He has a emote that says brush shoulder. Your shoulder's up here, bro. You're clearly touching your nipple. He even looks shifty doing it. Also, Hanzo has some sort of dragon sexual sprays. I found a Chinese dragon with a lightning bolt dick, but this is actually up for debate, since I don't know the complete anatomy of the Chinese dragon. But this one isn't up for debate. It's clearly 2 yellow dragons sucking each other off. Man. Widowmaker, of course, had some suggestive sprays. The first is a ass crack spray, which is very noticeable when you invert the colors in Microsoft Paint. The second is a foot fetish one. And finally, Winston has a spray. It's not too suggestive. It's just it just shows him and his life partner. I'm guessing sometime in the past. I don't know. I don't know the lore about this game. It's just there. I don't want my imaginary children asking why is this why male gorilla married a male man. And also he has a spray that's a dick grinning at an egg wearing what I can only perceive as a white anus belt. I didn't look too deep into the maps themselves, but I did find one thing. God damn it, they shot at it. Fucking assholes. Okay, here's another one. It's called Vivi's Adventure. It's clearly a little girl with huge tits. It's right there. And that's it for me today, guys.
Oh. Maybe this is better.
My blade is ready to be unleashed.
Our team needs us, Anna.
Reinhardt, get ready for boost.
Yes, milady.
Boost me, Granny, please.
No, boost that. Oops.
Hmm? My butt doesn't sting. Where's the boost?
I accidentally shot someone else.
Who?
They sure go fast.
Bad Granny.
I'm back in black. I'm back in black. Jack, no, don't you dare. I'm dead. Why are you like this? I'm on fire. High on fire? Jack, not again. I'm dead. Seriously? This is why we can't have nice things, Jack. Stop smirking. I know you're smirking.
What is it, Dad? You as a dad. Thanks. So thoughtful. What the hell are you crying about, more? Nothing. Fuck off, asshole. What is a dad? You is a dad. But you need to do better. Who the fuck wrote this?
Alright, I caught the first monster. What's next?
Now we look around to see if there are any other Pokemons nearby.
I saw some small blue snakes.
Those are dragons. They're quite rare, actually.
Really? Now there's a yellow hippo.
What? He attracts the dragons.
McCree, should I catch them all? I don't think I have enough traps.
Somehow that makes sense.
I am forever alone in agony. Because I killed my brother. Without him, I cannot be at peace.
Hanzo, I am your brother.
Genji? I'll kill you again!
Well, shit.
Is this your card?
No. Yeah, little bun. That's my card.
Daddy, I did it!
Well done, Hannah.
You need to step off, partner.
Make me.
Okay, Sensei. Just log in with the username and password I sent you.
I cannot.
Why not?
There is anti-omnic security on this page. It's a test of some sort.
What?
Truly, this is advanced protocol. I can't make heads or tail of it.
Just click the box, Sensei.
Listen, Genji. There are so many things that I need to tell you. No. There's no need to say anything. Let's just hug it out. Oh, wait, no, I need to... Okay, listen here, Hanzo. You stabbed me 56 times, and then left me for dead. I'm not going to forgive you. But Zenyatta won't leave me alone with all this resentment stuff. So, come here, you piece of shit. No, wait, but... We can do this the easy way. So how about you start talking? How about you piss off? Your pals sold you out. No. But I'll be damned before anyone can call Jesse McCree a squealer. like the cut of your jib, kid. Let's you and I make a deal.
Well, if it ain't Jesse McCree. Thought we heard varmin scurrying around? Why don't you cut to the chase and tell us where the rest of your posse's hiding? I ain't no squealer, unlike some people. You always were an idiot, McCree. I'm betting those pals of yours have skipped town by now anyway. Oh? Bet your life on that?
Two bandits down. Capture the target. Understood. 'Cause y'all sure as hell don't know my pals, pal.
Alright, I think I'll stop here. I think this is pretty good for what I want to make for now. I've never been a huge fan of this particular pose, but I think I could stop here. See what else I can make later. Okay. Good. Oof.